Hello and welcome back. Thank you for joining me here. As always, we're going to have a special request conversation today. And Cindy, my wife, is the requester. So thank you very much for this. This comes up fairly often because we have a set routine in the morning. Every morning we wake up at about 4:30 or sometimes 5 o'clock if we're sleeping in and take the dog for a walk early in the morning because where we live, it's July in the Northern Hemisphere in suburban Phoenix, Arizona, which means temperatures climb to 110 degrees Fahrenheit and above during the day. That's 45 degrees Celsius and above, often up to 48 and 49 during the day. It's too hot to take the dog for a walk then. So we have this routine, but what we do is we sit together and have coffee, read from A Course in Miracles ourselves, and we frequently have a conversation about this course and this material and spirituality in general. So, this question is based on something that I mentioned to her a couple of days ago, and she suggested that this would be an excellent topic for discussion. And well, I quite agree. And the idea is you are the answer you've been looking for. Hmm. This can't possibly be the first place or the first time you've heard that. If it is, okay, no problem, it is. But we hear this and variations of this in the world in all kinds of different contexts. We hear it in the physical health and weight loss arena, for example. We hear it in the business world, where, frankly, our own mindset is the determiner of how we do. Hmm, exactly. Yeah. The same is true here in this series, this collection of practices that we call spirituality. Those are all merely differences in outward form. The content, what's really going on, the essence is completely and all the same. So wherever you've heard the idea that you are the answer you're looking for, let's take a look at this from a standpoint of the study and practice of A Course in Miracles, because, well, that's what this video series is about. You did know that. Yeah. If you're just tuning in for the first time, this is what it's about. A Course in Miracles. So, welcome. We look for answers in the world that appears to be out there. We find ourselves, whatever your station in life is, whether you have a lot of money or very little money, or whether you have wealth and social status and influence or none at all, no matter what your height is, no matter what your weight is, your age, your gender, doesn't make any difference. We all find ourselves on the spiritual path for one very, very big reason. We have looked and looked in the world for happiness. We've looked for something fixed and lasting, in other words, lasting happiness. We're all looking for the same thing, the peace of God. And as we look for it in the world that appears to us to be out there, we look for it in one shiny object after another. We look for it in a new car. That'll bring me the peace of God. It'll make me happy. Well, it makes you happy for about 15 minutes. If you buy it brand new, it loses a significant portion of its value as soon as you drive it off the lot. There's that. And there are some very, very bad drivers out there. When someone door dings your brand new car, oops, the euphoric happiness of the purchase does not last. That's only one example. And we do this habitually, which is why we don't think anything of it. We've been conditioned to think that happiness is to be found in the world out there, and everything in our world reinforces this. The media certainly reinforces it with advertisement after advertisement, suggesting to us that the peace of God lies in a new piece of clothing. It lies in a new automobile. It lies in a better, shinier shirt, in a bigger home, in a brand new, hot, sexy, romantic partner, in something else, something else, something else. It invites and encourages us to be completely and totally dissatisfied with the situation as it is. And we run around looking for the same thing, but not in the right place. Another reason that you're watching this video is you have heard, and I'm willing to bet, many more times than once, the call of our inner teacher. What I mean by that is that the Holy Spirit, which I refer to throughout these videos as our inner teacher, and in A Course in Miracles itself, goes by many, many, I mean, dozens of different names. Our inner teacher is constantly speaking to us. Why? It is inner. The Holy Spirit is not some great mystery. There is no mystery here. The Holy Spirit is part of you. It is part of our mind, always there, and always speaking to us. The question for each and every one of us, moment to moment, is, are we listening? And at some point, you were most definitely listening, and many more times than once, because you find yourself right here. It's because you've been listening to the voice of our inner teacher. So, for that, I thank you, not just for populating this YouTube channel, but for what you're really doing, which is the best offering you could give anything, any place, anyone, anytime. Really, your dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice is huge. So, for that, I thank you. That is what's really important. And you've been listening to the call of our inner teacher, which goes out to all of us. Now, clearly, we look around in the world, and all it takes is 15 seconds or less to see that not everybody's listening to the Holy Spirit. I mean, that's pretty clear, but you are. So I invite you to stick around. We look for answers in the world out there, in stuff, in social status, or in things that we can pick up with our hands, like a glass of wine or a piece of jewelry or whatever it is. And we deep down know something as we do it, that happiness isn't to be found in that glass of wine. Now, it might be really euphoric, and it might be a really, really excellent bottle that hits you and makes you remember a picnic that you had years ago that was a beautiful experience. I mean, it can transport you. Anything can transport you through time, because there is no such thing as time. But right here in the present, you could have a beautiful experience with that glass of wine, or you could have 4 or 5 glasses and drain the entire bottle. What happens then? The bottle is gone. At some point, the dissatisfaction returns. So the peace of God, which is eternal and everlasting, and the only reality, which knows absolutely no opposites. It is the only reality. It knows no opposites. So it cannot be found in the perishable. The peace of God cannot be found in the world. It's not where it is. The world that appears outside us is itself an illusion. It is not to be found here in this thing, this 80% water organism that we take to be home sweet home. And we're conditioned to think of the physical body as us. I mean, when we say I, me, my, this, it's what we're referring to for the most part. Yet it's finite, as we all know. And anything that changes at all is illusion. So, where do you find comfort? Where do you find peace and happiness? Well, it is not to be found in the world outside, which means there's only one place to really find it within. Enter the practice of spirituality. This, by the way, is true not just of A Course in Miracles, but also of every tradition. They all have different ways of approaching this, but it's the same thing. There are multiple differences in outward form. There is no difference at all in the content. Every spiritual tradition, this course included, leads to the same place, God. All roads lead to God in the end. Why is this? God is the only reality. Where else would the roads lead? Now, they could be really winding and long. Sometimes they could be crooked, dusty, full of potholes, with lots of bends and turns and twists where you can't see around the next corner. Could look like that, but they all lead to the same place in the end. Ultimately, we all discover that we can't find lasting peace and happiness in the world itself, in the objects of the world. It's within. It is an inside job. This is true, again, not just of A Course in Miracles, but it's true of all spirituality. That's why this course makes it very clear that as a self-study curriculum, which it is a course in mind training. How we see things turns out to matter quite a bit. So while eternal happiness, joy, and peace can't be found in the objects and trinkets of the world, it can, it can be experienced even right here in the midst of our daily lives with business phone calls and email and stuff, with our massive to-do lists, checklists and overwhelm, all the stuff. The peace of God can be experienced right here, right now. And not surprisingly, the experience is not of this world. Perhaps some of you have had glimpses of this. It's common enough. And you don't know when that's going to arise. But here, In the study and practice of A Course in Miracles, we're invited to look for the answers where they really are, within. In other words, you are the answer you're looking for. If God is the only reality and God is love, where is the love you're looking for? Exactly. By love, we mean reality itself, not the special relationship love that exists here in the world where it's an exclusive relationship. Doesn't mean don't have a happy marriage. I do. Give your relationships over to the Holy Spirit. Try that. Try that and watch. Just watch. Watch them transform and deepen. Ask Cindy. I mean, you can. You have her permission to ask her. You are, in fact, the answer you've been looking for. The answer is not out there. There is nothing out there. There is nothing outside you. You heard that right. There is nothing outside you. All the 8 billion plus raving, screaming human beings are, well, they appear to be outside you. They are not outside you. This course will shift your perspective. That is the point, by the way. So, quite clearly, not everybody's going to follow this in this lifetime. So be it. You're here right now, and you're here for a reason. In each and every single one of these broadcasts, there is a message for you from your inner teacher. What exactly that will be, I have absolutely no idea, but you will know when it hits you, when it lands. You'll know what that message is. And it is so you can get that I turn on this camera and microphone in the first place to share the Holy Spirit with you, which we're all invited to do. How will that look? Well, ask the Holy Spirit. Do. Ask your inner teacher what to do to share the love of God with every single living thing. Not everybody's going to establish a channel here on a worldwide forum like YouTube, turn on the camera and microphone and broadcast. That is my own particular directive. And directive is quite accurate. It's what I'm called to do. So I do it happily in the real hopes that you'll hear the message of our inner teacher, and you will choose to heed that message and do as our inner teacher instructs you to do, which may not look like turning on a camera and microphone. It doesn't have to look like that. It could be whatever you routinely do in your life, in your job, in your relationship, whatever. We show up and we live life. We can fully function here in the world without believing in its reality at all. Give every situation over to your inner teacher. Set the goal of every situation, every single event. And by that, I mean every single event, every relationship, every phone call, every email, every segment of your day. Set the goal as truth and invite the Holy Spirit in and, well, see what you're called to do. You are the peace that you're looking for. You are the love you're looking for. You are the joy you are looking for. How do you know this? Well, give it away Forgive the Son of God, extend love, receive it right back instantly. When you give it away, it increases. Quite the opposite of what we think of here in the world, where we give somebody a gift and we don't have the gift anymore. Yeah, this is abstract. Give love, receive love. Give as you, in fact, have received. That's what we're invited to do. You are the answer you're looking for because there is no separation of any kind. And everywhere you go, it may look like you're meeting different people and stuff here in the world. Everywhere you go, you meet yourself. What would you share with yourself? God's love or condemnation? Would you lash out at yourself? Or would you extend yourself peace and love? You are the answer you've been looking for. So if this seems highly weird, no problem, right? Understandable. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. This course aims to flip our perception right side up. It is upside down. We do not see things as they are when we see ourselves as billions of little individuals. That's not the way it is. There is no separation of any kind. So, what we're doing here on what we call the spiritual path is embarking on what, for almost all of us, is a process of learning to see things as they are. This we do under the guidance of our inner teacher. So, to the extent that I can be of any assistance to you, it is my role here to serve as a guide for you. And if that means I can answer any questions that you may have, you're more than welcome to leave them here in the comment thread. And you're more than welcome also to suggest topics for discussion. Yeah, that is something that has been done many times here, and I'm always happy to do it. So if you have questions, please feel welcome to ask them. And if you would like to just pop in to the comment thread and say hello, please do that. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do that. That's the prompt in the corner of your screen. That arrow here is how you join us. Click it and please do go ahead and join us. Several videos appear each week. And well, we're going through A Course in Miracles. So something has brought you here today. It's your inner teacher, and you will have heard at least one message that was meant specifically for you. And we would all do very, very well to pay attention to that. All right. And I'm here to serve as a guide. Questions if you've got them. And I will talk to all of you very soon.